Hello and welcome to Live with Holly. It is November 28th.
Yep.
You know what that means? December is on Saturday. It's insane. This month is nearly over. Hello, how are you? Today we are talking about my top weight loss myths. And this is one of my absolute favorite topics because there's just so much bullshit out there. And there's so much confusion around weight loss. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that my conversation isn't completely about weight loss. In fact, I really like to talk about wellness and strength training and helping you to feel strong on the inside and the out, because that ultimately does lead towards weight loss. But I know that the vast majority of people do want to lose weight. So I would love to hear from you right now. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, give me a comment. We are live on Instagram and Facebook. I would love to hear from you. Is weight loss part of your story? I would love to know, because I think even for a lot of people whose primary focus is, let's say, getting stronger or getting fitter or feeling better, even for a lot of women where that's the case, a lot of women also want to lose 2 or 3 pounds. And therefore, weight loss and this whole conversation around it is so important. So we're going to be talking about my favorite weight loss myths today, and I would love for you to chime in. The reason why I do Live with Holly every single week is because I think that a lot of the health and fitness topics that are floating around out there in the world need explanation. You'll often see a headline that's very intriguing, or even other fitness experts or personalities out there in social media land will share their thoughts on something. And the truth is, a sentence or a paragraph is really not enough to explain the entire picture when it comes to health and fitness, whatever the topic is, whether it's strength training or just general fitness or cardio or nutrition. And I have just found that a lot of these topics need a further conversation, and that is what Live with Holly is about. I'm here to really talk more at length about these popular topics and also to have a conversation with you. I'm here to give you access to me for questions and to just build community. I want to hear from you. I want to chat with you. It's been a big past couple weeks for me, and more than ever, I'm really seeing and feeling the power of my community. And so many of you guys have been reaching out in the past couple of days and sharing messages and DMing me and sending text messages, and so many messages coming through. And I really honestly was pretty overwhelmed by it. And it just showed me how powerful this community is. And it filled me with so much love and so much gratitude. And also the awareness of how, here I am chatting live to you, and you might be in Texas, you might be in DC, you might be in Canada, you might be in New Zealand, you could be anywhere, and maybe we haven't even met in person, but yet I really feel like I've developed real relationships with a lot of you that are here every week. And so the biggest reason why I do this Live with Holly is really to just build this community and bring you guys into my fold and into my circle. And so many of you I really do consider friends and family, even if we haven't met. And so if you're joining me for the first time, I hope that you'll say hello. I hope you will join our little posse here. I hope you will say hi and share some of your story. And also, I'm here to answer your questions. So today we're talking about my top weight loss myths. That's hard to say. Weight loss myths. That's why.
I know.
Say it fast. Say my top weight loss myths.
My top weight loss myths.
Oh, you can say it again. Say it.
My top weight loss myths.
Say it, guys. It's hard. So Cindy and Kia are behind the cameras.
Hi.
Cindy's got a mouthful of rice and sushi. And so, yes, that's what we're talking about. So I have a couple of weight loss myths that I want to talk about because they drive me bonkers. But I want to hear yours. So if you have some ideas, or you're wondering if Hcg is a weight loss myth, because it does sound a little goofy when you think about it, we're going to be talking about that. Some of these weight loss ideas that are floating around out there in the world are ridiculously, hilariously silly. I mean, some of them are just where on earth did someone come up with that bullshit, right? And I can spot it, but the funny thing is, there is this pervasive, I don't know, there's something in the human psyche that we want to believe in magic. We do. We want to believe that there's some hokey potion that we can take that's going to work magic and it's just going to melt the fat off of you. So one of them I want to talk about right now because it was a topic of conversation yesterday with a client of mine, is this concept of, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's a thing called, I think it's called Coolsculpting. Am I right on this?
Yeah, they have it at Laser Away.
Right? Coolsculpting. Okay, so if you haven't seen it, maybe you'll get this idea. The notion is that you go into this medical office. It's not even really a medical office, but you go into a medical office and they use a gadget. I guess they might say it's a laser. I don't know. But supposedly what they do is they shrink. They freeze your fat cells so that they shrink up and disappear. And people are spending thousands of dollars on this. I have a client that I've never spoken publicly about because I have signed an NDA and I'm not allowed to reveal who she is. She is one of the wealthiest people in the entire world. She's up there on the list. And a few years ago, she did Coolsculpting. And, I shared my honest opinion with her, but I was like, really? Like, you've got all the money in the world and you could endeavor to do anything to change the fat on your body. And she was choosing Coolsculpting. And I was like, I don't get it. So sculptor, I don't know, Coolsculpting. So the whole notion is that it's going to freeze and shrink your fat cells. And people believe that it works. Trust me, it does not. If it does, Albert Einstein and Sir Isaac Newton are probably rolling over in their graves because it defies the laws of physics. It just doesn't work, guys. You can't freeze and shrink and make a fat cell disappear. It doesn't work that way. Physics, energy in, energy out. Like matter and physical matter can neither be created nor destroyed. It all is just morphing into a new form. It's just changing from one form into another. And that's how fat cells work. So that is the basis of what we're talking about today, because when we talk about weight loss and weight loss myths, broad spectrum, what we're talking about when we talk about weight loss is we hope that your weight loss is fat loss, but you don't have to lose fat to lose weight. Right? And so that's one of the first myths that we've got to talk about, is that weight loss doesn't automatically mean that you're burning off body fat, right? Because if I just stop drinking water for 3 days, I'm going to lose weight. If I stop strength training for 2 weeks, I'm going to lose weight because I'm going to lose muscle, right? If I stop eating carbohydrates, I'm going to lose weight. But that does not mean I'm burning off body fat. So the very first consideration around weight loss myths, still can't say that, weight loss myths, is that you've got to understand the essence of weight loss and what we're really going for, which is fat loss is what we want to talk about. So I'm going to be focusing specifically on fat loss as weight loss as compared to those other versions of weight loss. But first, I would love to hear from you guys. Tell me who's here, what's going on.
Jill's watching.
Jill's watching from the living room.
Anita waves. We have a Tracy Van gave you a little kiss. Laura Marks gave you little heart eyes. Over here on Facebook, Michelle is cracking up with saying, I don't know, maybe the weight loss myths. Janet said hello. Kristen Marie Bachman said, hi everyone, watched last week's episode on playback. Great job, Cindy and Kia. Thank you.
Thanks.
Melody said hi.
Hi.
She also said, what do you think about Beachbody and their shakes?
Oh, good question. I love that one.
Michelle Watton is laughing about
Yeah. So Shakeology, right? Mm-hmm. Shakeology is what we're talking about here. I definitely have an opinion on Shakeology, which I would love to share in a moment.
Kristen also said, your amazing advice is always in my head. Shoulders back and down. Sabotage your sabotage.
Sabotage your sabotage.
And I think there's more, but I can't read the rest of it on the phone.
Oh, I'm so glad. These little taglines that I come up with, I mean, they are legit, right?
Shoulders back and down, girl.
Shoulders back and down.
I use that.
Shoulders back and down.
Even when I'm not working out.
Shoulders back and down all the time. Aggressive aggressively like it's your full-time job. Shoulders back and down right now, every single one of you. So today, Cindy and Kia both at the same time went. See, shoulders back and down. If I was really proper, this is shoulders back and down.
Look how much better that looks.
Oh my God, so much better, right? It's also exhausting, and that's why no one does it. I'm gonna try and hold it for the rest of the hour. Because you can also think chest up. Chest up is also
Well, that's what I tell
the
my clients,
opposite
stick your chest out.
of shoulders back and down. Yeah, exactly, either way. So, all right, shoulders back and down. So, top weight loss myths that we are talking about today. The first one that I want to talk about is that a ketogenic lifestyle or ketogenic diet is going to lead to weight loss. And there's so much compelling, exciting, intriguing information floating around the world on ketogenic eating right now. But the truth is, while there are some benefits to ketogenic eating, for sure, it doesn't necessarily lead to weight loss, especially if you are within about 5 to 10 pounds of your weight loss goal. If you have 100 pounds to lose, a ketogenic approach could work for you to a certain degree, okay? But when we are just talking about weight loss, there is no magic in a ketogenic approach, okay? There's no magic in it. It is an approach just like any other, and while you may get some benefits from it, okay, if you do it strictly and appropriately, you can get some benefits to it, but it doesn't necessarily lead to weight loss. And this is the cool thing. For those of you guys that have tried it or know someone who has tried it,
My mom wants me to fix your hair.
I know, it's hilarious,
No,
right?
no, she said it's from the back. Sprout. She's so
Sprouty.
cute. She said, Mama.
Oh my
she's
gosh.
Like, Holly's hair looks wavy from the back. Fix it.
Cindy's mom has just chimed in and told Cindy to fix my hair. So we're going to talk about my hair for a moment right now, guys. So
I fixed it, Mom. Mom, I made it.
There you go. She's our hair designer as well. It's this guy.
Yeah.
It's Sprouty.
Yeah, but don't lift it more.
Well, we might as well just make it obvious, right? There we go. Okay, so those of you guys that have not met Sprouty, this is Sprouty number 2, by the way. This is Sprouty. So Sprouty, guys, is a function of over the past year, year and a half now, well, maybe even a little longer. As I came off of antidepressants, it was so stressful on my body that that combined with some other immune system things that I've got going on, I had some like patches of hair totally full on fall out. So I had a big old bald spot right here earlier this year. That was Sprouty number 1. Sprouty number 1 disappeared when I got bangs. And then I got this other bald patch back here that's now growing back. And so this is all brand new hair growth. Look at that, isn't that hilarious? Of Sprouty growing back my bald patch. Isn't that so sweet?
Oh, hell. Oh my gosh. You guys, I'm going to shut this thing down.
You know, my attitude is this, like,
It looks fine.
I don't even care anymore. It's there. I think it's more hilarious if we just talk about it.
It's
And
cute.
I'm honestly like so proud of myself that that my sweet little immune system regrew my hair. I'm so happy that my hair is growing back. Your body will heal itself if you give it the right environment. And so hopefully that's the last bald patch that I will have. I think it is actually, because I feel like my immune system is better. So anyway, thank you for pointing out my little goofy hair. But anyway, back on track. So ketogenic, guys, here's the thing. I don't want to turn this episode into talking about the pros and cons of ketogenic eating, but let's leave it at this. There are some benefits to eating a ketogenic diet if you do it right. In my experience, most people aren't doing it right. Keep in mind, if you're going to properly do a ketogenic diet, you have to be eating at a minimum of 70% of your daily calories as fat. Approximately 20% of your daily calories is protein, and 10% or less of your daily calories as carbohydrates. So by the way, people think, oh great, I'll eat some nuts. Nuts actually have a substantial amount of carbohydrates in there. So unless you are super strategic about how you're doing a ketogenic eating, most people aren't really doing ketogenic. They're really doing more of a low carb, high protein approach. Because the first thing people think is, oh, a ketogenic approach, I get to eat hamburgers and steak. That's actually not ketogenic because there's too much protein in the mix, right? A ketogenic diet is actually quite low in protein. It's high in fat. So most people are not even doing it appropriately, by the way. And secondarily, just because you're eating low carb and low protein and you're eating ketogenic, it doesn't mean you're gonna lose weight, okay? So here is why. This is the most important thing to remember when you are learning to decipher through all the headlines out there about weight loss, okay? This is really critical to remember. The only rule that you have to get into your head, that you have to remember to educate yourself, to be a smart consumer, and to cut through the bullshit of weight loss marketing is the only way to burn off extra fat is through a calorie deficit. Period. End of story. Yes, there are some things you can do to optimize your metabolism so that your metabolism is free to burn more calories, but still fat loss and weight loss, when we're talking real weight loss coming from fat loss, can only happen because your body doesn't have enough calories to maintain its daily energetic need. This is not my opinion. This is 200 years of proven medical fact. We know this, period. So therefore, avoiding carbohydrates doesn't equate to losing weight. Skipping food categories doesn't equate to losing weight. Drinking a green drink doesn't equate to losing weight, right? It doesn't add up. The only way you're going to gain or lose weight is through manipulating your calories. And the challenge with a ketogenic eating diet is that fat is very high in calories. So if you're eating a ketogenic diet and you, like a lot of people, just eat lots and lots and lots and lots of fat, chances are you're getting too many calories and you're not actually going to lose weight. You'll drop some water, you might feel better, you might speed up your metabolism. There's other benefits you could get, but it does not necessarily equate to fat loss because it's really hard to feel full on a ketogenic diet. So imagine we weighed my fist on a scale. And if you could imagine, my fist was on a scale and it weighed 1 gram, okay? So imagine this is 1 gram in weight, okay? 1 gram of carbohydrate has 4 calories, okay? So if this was a banana, it would be 4 calories. If this was 1 gram of butter, it would be 9 calories. For the same size, you're getting more than double the calories, okay? And so therefore, you don't get full eating a high-fat diet. You're shifting your metabolism and you don't ever feel satisfied and you don't feel full because you're getting such condensed calories. You're not getting fiber. You're not getting as many vegetables as you should be eating. You're not getting all of the filling foods that you can get in a non-ketogenic diet. And what ends up happening is most people don't end up eating low enough calories to get the benefits. And so really what it comes down to, what you really need to know at the end of the day is if your goal is to lose weight, you can eat however you want. You can eat any kind of diet approach that you want that works for you, provided you're getting fewer calories than what your body needs to burn in a given day. Does that make sense? Any questions or comments thus far?
Janet said, I think you should emphasize sprouting. Wear it like alfalfa.
Totally.
And we're not young. We are old enough to know who that is, Janet.
Ah, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Schools.
Oh my
I
God.
feel like that's always going to be a movie, like,
Yeah,
to
it's
the
true.
day, you know?
That's true.
But yeah, you should wear it like alfalfa.
I think so too.
I
I think it's cute. I think it sets me apart.
It does. And then we don't have any other comments other than Scotty the Rock said, hey Holly, talking about nutrition.
Awesome, I love it. So if you guys have any questions or thoughts or comments around ketogenic eating, please share it with me, because I imagine there are some of you guys watching who are fans of ketogenic eating, and I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear why. I would love to hear what it's done for you. There's no question that you can get some benefits from eating a ketogenic lifestyle, for sure. But the challenge is you got to be doing it right, and it really is intended to be a short-term approach to eating. You don't want to turn it into a lifestyle. It's really not healthy. And I think most experts all experts on ketogenic eating would agree with that as well. The risk of becoming acidic is so high. Being in ketogenesis all the time is actually really taxing on your body. Your body needs carbohydrates, guys. Your brain really does need carbohydrates. And so when you're restricting so many carbohydrates, that actually is quite stressful on your liver, your brain, your muscle glycogen, and if you're working out, it's really hard for that to be sustainable. One of the things I see quite a bit with my clients who are doing a low carb or a ketogenic approach is that they'll do good for about a week and then they crash and burn. And then somehow they get themselves back on their feet, they do good for a week, and then they crash and burn. I see that a lot with people who are trying to work out on a ketogenic approach. It's really hard to do that. But if your exercise is minimal, if you're not really working out in a big way, right, or in a more concerted way, you can get away with it. So we're talking about my top weight loss myths. And right now, I want you to make sure that you check out my blog, hollyperkins.com/blog. On the blog today, I'm talking about the most important weight loss truths that you need to know. It's really critical. Once you understand the truth and the laws of weight loss, you're going to be able to find your way so much better. You're going to be able to cut through so many of the goofy marketing claims that we see out there in the world, and you're going to know. So make sure you check out today's blog, hollyperkins.com/blog, my top weight loss myths. And a little bit further down on the blog, you're going to see the exclusive content section, which is weight loss truths, so that you can learn the truths and the laws about weight loss so that you know how to pick and choose. How do you want to eat? How do you want to exercise? What are the belief systems that you really want so that you are following the laws that govern weight loss, because it really is true. Especially in the world of marketing these days, boy, these marketing people come up with some real creative weight loss notions that I'm just shocked that they can even get away with marketing some of the stuff.
Fran just asked really quickly, kind of around the same thing. She was wondering how a keto diet became so popular.
Well, here's the thing. Here's how the keto diet became popular, in my opinion. First of all, a ketogenic approach to eating, let's call it a low carb approach to eating, I think started back in the 40s, I think was when they first identified this approach. Very specifically, it was a medical protocol to help people with epilepsy and seizures. Okay, that is where we first started discovering how inducing ketogenesis in the body could provide some health benefits. But it was specifically a medical protocol to help people who were having seizures. Then they realized, right, word got out, the years went on, we realized that there are some benefits that you can get with this eating approach, and then it became the Atkins Diet. So Atkins really started this whole ketogenic thing. And the Atkins Diet is ketogenic eating when you really understand and you read the book on the Atkins Diet, which I think came out in the late 60s. Don't quote me on that. I think it was late 60s, early 70s. Can you want to Google it real quick?
Yeah.
The Atkins Diet.
I think it was like 70s. My mom
70s?
remembered being on, she did it in the 80s.
Okay, yeah. It was like 60s or 70s, I think. Because I remember I read it and studied it in the 90s, and at that point it was an old diet, right? But it's had its resurgence in the 90s. But ultimately, Atkins is the same as ketogenic. And so some nifty author out there repurposed and repackaged the Atkins Diet. And it's the same thing. The Atkins Diet is talking about ketogenesis. It's
60s.
The 60s, that's what I thought. 66? When it was originally published? You could write original published date of the Atkins Diet.
Okay.
feel it was 66. I'm curious. I'm an information geek like that. I love to know these things. So yeah, so basically like that's what Atkins was teaching. He just named it after himself and we called it the Atkins Diet, but it was ketogenic diet. So then someone was just like, oh, it's ketogenesis. It sounds so smart and so sophisticated. Let's call it keto. How to eat keto. It stands for ketogenesis, which is just a biological way to turn fat into fuel so that your brain can function. What you're doing is you're hijacking your body's own natural system because your brain has to have fuel. And if you're not giving it fuel in the form of carbohydrates, it's got to come up with some fuel so you'll survive. So you're really hijacking your body and clunking it into this like weird system of producing ketone bodies so that your brain's got something to work from. You get a high from it. Some people feel an increased elevation in energy, mental alertness. And so you can get some benefits from it, but it definitely isn't the athlete's diet of choice.
1963.
63, I was close. So 1963 was when Atkins came out with the Atkins Diet, and then someone just repurposed it into keto, right? See if you can find who is credited with the keto diet. Modern day ketogenic eating, who's credited with it, right? I don't know if there was like one seminal book that was like the ketogenic diet. I don't know if somebody came out with that. I mean, I should know this, but it's like in one ear and out the other because I'm like, it's the Atkins diet. This notion has been around since 63. It's actually been around since the 40s, like I said, when it was a medical approach. So there's that. I'm not a huge fan of it, as you can tell, but I've got one client that I'm doing ketogenics with right now. I have a client right now as a private coaching client, and her circumstance is a bit more unusual than most average folks. And we decided together that taking a stretch and trying out a ketogenic approach, let's see how it works for her, because we're very specifically working on more health and immune system things with her. It's not just a weight loss conversation for her. And it's not just a fitness muscle building conversation for her either. So even though I'm not a fan of it for the general public, it is a tool and it is a medical protocol that we can use to help people to get some benefits. So while Kia is researching, I'm going to move on. The next diet myth that I think is hilarious, and I cannot believe that it's still around, is HCG. So for those of you guys that have probably seen some of it, I mean, it never really got to be as big as keto, never got to be as big as the Atkins diet, but this whole approach to HCG, I think, is just ridiculous. Now, don't, you like science technician and scientists out there that are more geeky than me, don't quote me on all of this, but basically the HCG diet, and the author of that is a medical doctor, and basically his theory is if you take the hormone that women take when they're nursing, it's going to cause your body to burn more calories and need more calories, right, is the theory, which I think is ridiculous. Oh, by the way, when you look at his actual coined HCG diet, it also has to be done. This is what blows my mind, because I had a client 15 years ago do the HCG diet. I always thought she was crazy, but she would come in telling me about it, and I never agreed with it, but I was just really focusing on her in the gym fitness training, and so I was like, do what you want with your diet, right? So she was working with this doctor, taking the proper HCG hormone, but what people don't talk about is the proper HCG diet demands that you eat a 500 calorie a day diet. Did
well,
you
no
know
wonder you're going to lose weight. Hello, you're starving yourself.
500 calories a day.
Oh my God, not even my breakfast is that.
But it's the HCG hormone that's causing you to lose weight, right? I mean, what a way to sell HCG hormone. I mean, isn't that ridiculous?
That's torture.
It's the 500 calories a day that's causing you to lose weight, not the injection. I mean, it's insanity, and it blows my mind that a medical doctor is getting away with this. I don't understand how some of these people are getting away with this bullshit. It blows me away.
500 calories?
500 calories a day is the proper author, the proper protocol of the HCG diet dictates 500 calories a day. I mean, my client was eating like 3 almonds for breakfast, celery for lunch, a tomato for dinner. I mean, literally, it was so absurd. I couldn't even talk to her about it. I was just like, let's do some leg press, you know?
My
So, according to what I'm reading, they're saying that there was a movie in 1994 with Meryl Streep where like they referenced the ketogenic diet,
Okay.
but it was referencing how it helps a child with epilepsy.
Okay.
But from there, like more and more research came out, and then like
People just...
by 2007, they said like 75 centers across 45 countries were promoting this diet.
For epilepsy and seizures, or as weight loss?
Just as weight loss.
So it started in the medical community then,
Yeah,
and it just
it
grew
did.
and grew and grew and grew. Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay,
So just
interesting.
more research from more doctors came out,
Okay.
and they were like, well, this can help with more than that. But
Totally.
they always go back to specifically for epilepsy and other
Correct.
like
Seizures and
Exactly.
disorders, basically.
Right.
So ketogenic, I mean, I do believe that it can be helpful for people who have metabolic syndrome, if you're having hormonal issues. But here's the deal, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again because I'm so passionate about it. Yeah. I was like, what? Wait, I thought you were going to tell me something. This is a good one. Kia is a rock star, by the way. Both of these two are such rock stars. You're such a rock star on that. Okay, wait, let me collect myself for 1 second. Hold on. Where was I going with this? Hold on. We're almost there. Okay. Here's the deal that a lot of people don't really understand. When we look at a ketogenic or low carb diet and the benefits that you can get from it, when you really understand the pathways that happens, it's the same exact benefits that you would get eating some carbohydrates according to macros at about 40 to 50% carbohydrates. They're the same exact benefits that you're gonna get. One of the headlines of ketogenic eating is that it will stabilize your blood sugar. Well, so does eating according to macros at a 40% carbohydrate level, right? One of them is that it helps to correct hormone imbalances. So does eating according to macros at about a 40% or more carbohydrate level. You're gonna get the same benefits from both, right? So why wouldn't you choose the one that allows you to eat some brown rice and some potatoes and some fruit and some oats and some quinoa and some beans and some fiber and some nutritious foods that you enjoy? Listen, everyone loves carbohydrates. Am I right or wrong? Who would say, nah, I don't want to eat potatoes, or I don't like carbohydrates?
I don't want to drink wine.
I know, I don't want to drink beer. I don't want to drink wine. Like, no, I don't like carbohydrates. I just want to eat bacon and butter all day long. Really? Like, I love to eat bacon and I love to eat butter and I love me a burger. But is that what you want to eat all day long? It's disgusting. And if you can get the same benefit from both, why wouldn't you choose one that emphasizes a variety of foods, fiber, more phytochemicals, because you're getting whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. You're getting more nutritious, wholesome food, and you're getting the same benefits when you eat using my approach of eating according to macros at about 40%, or eating ketogenic, right? Because the truth is, both of them are eating according to macros. If you're doing ketogenic right, you got to be counting your macros. If you're doing ketogenic right, you have to be counting macros. So if you're looking at your macros, you might as well use an approach where you're getting some really nutritious, important food groups called carbohydrates and fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
We have a couple questions.
Yes, let's hear it.
One's a little off topic. Healthy
Awesome.
Geekster. I know that you say we shouldn't do HIIT every day.
Yes.
But what about circuit training?
I love that. So I'm going to answer that because I'm in the moment right now, and Kayla is always here with us. So no, I'm not a fan of doing appropriate, legitimate HIIT workouts every day. Bad idea. If you're a 23-year-old dude, go for it. But if you're not a 23-year-old dude, not a great idea. A legitimate HIIT. Now, circuit training could be HIIT, but it doesn't have to be, right? Circuit training is simply where you are engaging one exercise to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, and you're keeping your heart rate up, and there's little to no rest to circuit training. Circuit training is great for building muscular endurance, and it's also great for keeping your heart rate up, so you're getting some cardiovascular fitness out of it as well. For sure, I'm a huge fan of circuit training. Where circuit training becomes HIIT is when those exercises are so hard or at a high enough intensity level that your heart rate gets super high. So circuit training where you're managing a moderate heart rate is awesome, and you could do that every single day for sure. Because even if your circuit training is employing something like a leg press or a muscle building exercise, if you're doing proper circuit training where your heart rate is elevated a little bit, the load on your muscles isn't going to be so challenging that you have to take a day off the next day, right? You're not going to be overloading your muscles to the degree that they couldn't come back the next day and do it again. So in theory, you could do circuit training every single day. Just make sure that you're keeping an eye on your heart rate.
Fran Bass.
Hi.
Along the lines of diet myths, there are weight loss companies out there that promote eat our food, lose weight, such as Jenny Craig.
Yeah.
Is this just another weight loss marketing scheme?
Oh, for sure. Now, again, I think if we were to really read what Jenny Craig wants you to do on their program, if you followed Jenny Craig's program to a T, it's a calorie deficit diet. And so it will work 100%. Because Jenny Craig, I know for a fact, is it's a calorie deficit approach. So is Weight Watchers, by the way. And so anything that is based on calorie deficit is going to work for you. You could eat 3 Snickers bars a day and probably lose weight because you're going to be in a calorie deficit, okay? So Jenny Craig, if you do exactly what they tell you to do, okay, it's a calorie deficit. The criticism I have of Jenny Craig is that it's a lot of packaged, frozen, low-calorie foods. It's a low-cost food. And so I have problems with that only because it's just not healthy food. Now, listen, I think Jenny Craig serves its purpose because if you are someone who has a very limited budget, and you need to lose weight for your health, that could be a really viable option because it's cheap food, right? And so you could actually follow a plan and lose weight on a reasonable budget. Now, where I say, I wonder if it could be better is if you went to your grocery store and you bought fresh chicken and fresh broccoli and fresh brown rice and you cooked at home, you could achieve the same. But my biggest concern with Jenny Craig is it really appeals to people who want pizza, who want ice cream, who want dessert, who want beef stroganoff, right? And what they do is they package it in a way that it's a cheap food and it's low cost. There's a lot of salt, there's a lot of preservatives. It's not high quality fresh food. But if you were to do it to a T, it's gonna work. Same with Weight Watchers. So when it comes to all of the larger brands that are out there, I'm a huge fan of Weight Watchers. I think what Weight Watchers is teaching is actually exactly what I'm teaching. They really teach you portion control. And while they're using a numbered system, if you add up your 17 points per day, it's a calorie deficit. And so what Weight Watchers is doing is purely calorie deficit. They don't care if you're eating 100% carbohydrates all day. Theirs is just eat fewer calories than you're burning and you'll lose weight, which is true. It really is true. You could eat bananas all day long, and as long as it's few enough calories, you're gonna lose weight. The challenge is, and why I'm such a fan of eating according to macros is, we know, again, through medical research, that human is gonna feel best if you get some carbohydrates, some protein, and some fat. Those 3 macronutrients are critical to your body for different reasons. Carbohydrates provide fuel. Protein provides the building blocks to rebuild your body. And fat provides the foundation for hormone production and for proper lining of all the cells in your body. And so fat, carbohydrate, and protein, they have 3 very different jobs. And if you're taking one of those out, you're eliminating the job of that macronutrient. But each one of those macronutrients is absolutely critically important to the human body. And so therefore, you could lose weight just eating all fat all day long. You could lose weight eating just protein all day long. You could lose weight just eating bananas all day long. You could, but you're not going to feel well. It's not ideal for your health. You can't do it for a very long time. Otherwise, there's going to be fallout when you've got nutrient deficiencies because you don't have enough protein to rebuild your muscles and to rebuild your brain cells and to do all of the repair processes that your body needs in a given day, right? You're gonna have deficiencies. And so, but if I were to say of those like big brands that are out there, I would actually say I think Weight Watchers is really promoting something really, really good and mindful. I would much rather you be buying some broccoli and some brown rice and some chicken or some salmon or some whatever and preparing it at home. You're gonna lose weight so easily. But if you need to buy their packaged products, that's an option for sure. Questions and comments?
Yes, we have Christy Wallow asks, can you remind us how many calories we should be eating to lose weight?
Good question.
Rachel Pintarelli.
Hi.
Been a while since I tuned in, Holly. Loving these informative reminders. Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here.
And she said, P.S. Rock that healthy alfalfa. Be proud.
I know, right? Healthy alfalfa.
Fran, counting macronutrients is definitely the way to go. Totally feel satisfied when I eat this way.
Yeah. So guys, I'm going to get back to Chrissy's question. So, you know, I'm always experimenting with strategy, but also I'm always manipulating how I'm eating to deal with just some health issues that I've been having over the past year and a half. And so recently, as many of you know, I'm a proponent of eating according to macros. Normally, when I am on it, I eat 50% carbohydrates. I eat 50, 25, 25 most days, approximately, right? But in the past couple of weeks, there have been some things that have been up, and I shifted my macros to 40% carbohydrates, okay? The very first thing that I noticed when I went from 50% carbs to 40% carbs, get this, eating fewer carbohydrates, I was so much hungrier. As soon as I start eating 50% carbs, my appetite disappears almost problematically. It's almost a problem because it kills my appetite that much, getting 50% carbohydrates. And so that was actually a problem I was having. I had no appetite and I didn't want to eat. And so one of the things that I did is I reduced my carbohydrates down to 40% and bam, I was hungry and I wanted to eat again. But it was literally, that was the only difference. I didn't reduce my calories. I kept my calories the same. I just shifted from 50% carbs to 40% carbs and boom, the fewer carbohydrates caused me to be hungry. That's not everybody, that's my metabolism, but I know from genetic testing that my body needs more carbohydrates than other people, and so that's just my body. But to answer Christy's question, which was really great, Christy chimed in and she said, can you remind us of how many calories should we be eating? So here's the deal. There is no magic number to what a person should be eating to lose weight. You'll often hear 1,200 calories gets thrown out. A lot of medical doctors just arbitrarily put people on 1,200 calorie diets to lose weight, right? But here's the deal. What you should be eating to lose weight is 500 calories less per day than what you need, okay? And so let's say you were going along in time and you were eating this many calories every day, okay? The amount of calories you need to eat is this minus 500. You need to be eating a bit fewer calories. Now that is a imprecise, right? Let's call it an analogy, but that's imprecise information. So I'll also give you the precise information. But the truth is, if you eat 500 calories per day less than what you're currently eating, you're going to lose weight beautifully and comfortably. Now, with my clients, what I teach is, rather than taking you from this many calories to 500 less, what I like to do is this many calories less 300 and have you exercise more to obtain a 500 or 600 calorie deficit per day. So through combined efforts of calorie restriction and energy expenditure through exercise, you can wipe out 600 calories per day very comfortably, okay? So that's sort of for those of you brains that think a bit more philosophically and a bit more like just in ideas. That's one approach. And certain personalities, what I just described, you're gonna go, aha, I get it. That makes perfect sense for me. I have a client right now that's just like that. I can't tell her how many calories to eat. What we're doing is we're working with her current diet and we're finding ways that she can save 300 calories per day and having her exercise, okay? Now, the other approach, which is a bit more scientific and a lot more precise for you, Chrissy, is I am a huge fan of using what I call a calorie multiplier. And what that means is you take your current body weight and you multiply it by a number. And that number is dependent on some factors. So if you multiply your current body weight by that number, it's gonna tell you how many calories to eat per day, okay? So where we get smart is what is that number? The more you exercise, the bigger that number needs to be. The less you want to exercise, the smaller that number needs to be. The more muscle you have, the bigger that number needs to be. So in general, what I often offer for people is take your current body weight times the number 10 or 11. If you're hell-bent on losing weight and you're not exercising a ton, 10 or 11. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you're gonna take your current body weight, 150 pounds, you're gonna multiply it by 10. That means you're eating 1,500 calories per day, assuming that you are exercising, okay? Now, if you're watching, and I know this isn't you, Chrissy, but if you are someone who's watching who doesn't wanna exercise at all, then what I would do is I would take current body weight times like 8. And then that's what you're gonna eat to lose weight, not exercising. But as soon as you start exercising, that number has to go up. To put it in perspective, I can lose weight on my body weight times 15 because I'm strength training, because I work out every day, and because I have muscle on me. So somewhere between the number 10 and the number 15 is gonna be a lot for a lot of people. But Chrissy, I know you're doing aggressive yoga, and so your calorie expenditure is gonna be a little bit more than other people. What I would encourage you to play with is somewhere between 10 and 12, 10 and 11, okay? Most of my private one-on-one coaching clients, I set them at 11 or 12, most people. But I kind of look and I see what are our goals, what are we working with, what is their current energy expenditure during the day, and sometimes I set it a little bit higher. But for most people, it's body weight times 10, maybe times 11. And then what you do is you put that into play for a few weeks and you assess your weight loss. If weight loss is happening gently and nicely and in a way that's tolerable, stay there. If you're feeling like weight loss is happening too quickly, you take your calories up. If you feel like you want your weight loss to happen faster, you bring your calories down. Today we are talking about my top weight loss myths. I know I keep looking at it when it's over there, right? But it forces me to sit up. I look so much better when I sit up. We need a signal. I think it's this. Yeah, if you just do that, I'll do that, right? I look so much better when I sit up. I have such a tendency to do this when I'm here.
I know. Janet said, wow, 1,200 calories. Since you introduced me to macros about a year ago, I'm eating about 1,750 and have lost weight, gotten smaller, going through, I think, the comeback.
That's amazing.
Wait, is she in the comeback?
Yeah. Janet, yeah.
I totally forgot that she was.
Yeah.
And I think she's something else, but my computer just died.
So Janet, who's here with us most weeks, she is a member of my coaching program, The Comeback. And in The Comeback, I give you a 50-plus page handbook that spells all of this out. And it walks you through how to know which calorie multiplier to use. So Janet is using 12, right? Is that right now? Well, see, if she's at 1,700 calories, yeah, she's probably using 11 or 12. Mm-hmm. So when you really get your macros right and you're working out right and you're eating right, I don't know how anybody survives on 1,200 calories a day. I would lose my mind. I couldn't even do that for one day. I mean, I lose weight on 1,700 calories a day.
Our breakfast
for
alone
real,
is like
real.
600 calories.
I know. So when you do it right and you really get strategic, guys, you're able to eat a lot of calories. And in the comeback, I teach you all of this. I teach you the beat by beat and exactly how to do it. That's why we're getting so many incredible results inside the comeback. It's really, it's a comprehensive program. It's not just a nutrition plan that's arbitrarily created without consideration for the exercise plan. It's a strength training program with a cardio program, with a nutrition plan, and all three of those components are created synergistically so that they work together, because that's really the only way that you're gonna really change your body. You can change your body to a degree simply by changing your nutrition. You can change your body to a degree simply by changing your workout. But when you bring them all together and you combine a nutrition strategy with a fitness strategy, that's when real body transformation happens. That's when you add muscle and burn off body fat. And that really is the essence of proper weight loss, but also being healthier, being stronger, having more energy, feeling better. It really comes down to body composition. And the only way, in a very direct and positive way, to change your body composition is to be strategic in your eating and your fitness. Questions and comments?
Michelle Wong said, go Janet.
Go Janet! Yeah!
And that's it.
And so on today's blog on hollyperkins.com, did you put it up already?
No.
You do that later. Mm-hmm. So on Facebook here in the feed at the top, in the description, there is a link that will just take you straight to today's blog. So today's blog on hollyperkins.com/blog, my top weight loss myths. At about midway down the page, I share with you weight loss truths. The truths of weight loss, not based on my opinion, but based on medical science.
Janet just said something really funny. Really not funny.
Tell
It was
us.
awesome. She said, I kind of modified using 13.
Okay. Wow.
But I know but I don't know what I weigh anymore since I don't weigh myself anymore.
Oh, I love that.
Yay, Janet!
That's amazing. So Janet used a calorie multiplier of 13 to lose weight. Okay, that's a lot of calories. She's eating around 1,700 calories a day. And the exciting thing is her body has changed and she stopped weighing herself, which is like so huge. I'm so like, that's so huge. And it's so liberating to just release that from just the whole crazy making conversation, right? So for those of you guys, we're talking about weight loss today. And for those of you guys that are wanting to lose weight, it doesn't have to be defined on the scale. A better way to define it is how your clothes are fitting. You know, you will know if you're losing weight by how your clothes fit. How do your jeans fit? How do your workout clothes fit? How do your sports bras feel, right? You'll know if you're getting smaller that way. And in many ways, that's actually a better barometer of if you're losing weight or not. It's certainly an emotionally better barometer. It feels a whole lot better rather than being tied to the scale going up and down 2 pounds. Any questions or comments?
No.
Okay, awesome. So today we are talking about my top weight loss myths. And that's a few of them. I'm trying to think if there's any others. I think the last one really that comes to mind, and I get this all the time, I get this a lot when I go into social settings like a dinner parties or birthday parties or whatever. People will often say to me things like, you know, my trainer told me I would lose weight if I ate celery. Or is it true that I'll lose weight by, I don't know, what's another one? Eating kale.
Or drinking my water with just lemon.
Right, yes, beautiful. If I drink water with lemon, will I lose weight? I get a lot of those questions all the time where it's silly things that's like, if I do this one thing, will I lose weight? And the truth is there is no one thing that you can eat or not eat that's gonna cause you to lose weight. There is no one workout that you can do that's gonna cause you to lose weight, right? It's not like, if I do yoga, will I lose weight? It's not the yoga that's going to cause you to lose weight. It's the energy expenditure that's going to cause you to lose weight, right? It's not the celery juice that's going to cause you to lose weight, okay? It's not the eating of the thing or the not eating of the thing. It's not the drinking celery juice and not eating carbohydrates. That's not the thing that's going to cause you to lose weight. It's the consideration around all of it. There is no one simple thing that's going to cause your body to lose weight. It's got to be a multi-pronged approach, right? You got to be looking at a couple of different factors and bringing them all together. And ultimately, weight loss in the form of fat loss occurs at the intersection of nutrition and exercise, okay? Calories in and calories out is where true fat loss occurs. And to some degree, you have to have both for real transformational body fat loss. You have to have both of them, okay? Any other final questions?
Janet, it's a question for me. I'm curious, Cindy, you mentioned a while back that you quit drinking lemon water. I think I said lemon water with apple cider vinegar. And the reason why I stopped drinking that was because of the apple cider vinegar. It's not that it was bothering me or anything like that. I'm very big on my eating according to my blood type, and that is an avoid for me. So I'll probably try it. I'm not scared to try things that are not good for me. If I have the choice to avoid it, I will.
Yeah, and it's like, so around here, guys, like eating according to blood type is law. And so even if, let's say, I don't know, I'm trying to come up with an example of myself. Oh, I know. No, that doesn't apply. I don't know. I think that was a great example. So there are a lot of people out in the world that believe apple cider vinegar is very good for us, right? So what the conversation that Cindy and I have around our headquarters here is, well, good for you is defined by if it's compatible for your blood type. So apple cider vinegar is not compatible for an A blood type. So Cindy just avoids it, right? Because it's like, she doesn't need to drink it. She doesn't want to drink it. So we don't drink it if it's not good for our blood type. It's actually really good for my blood type, so I drink it. But there are other things that I won't do, not because they're bad, but it's like, it's not compatible, so why would I bother, right? Exactly. And so that's like, we really believe in that on a biological level. And now remember, that's so perfectly tied to today's conversation. It's not that Cindy quit drinking apple cider vinegar so she could lose weight. It's not about that at all. It's really about like, what is best for your metabolism and what is best for the way that your body functions. And the more we can just kind of like optimize how your metabolism works, weight loss just sort of happens on its own fluidly, right? And so because I work this system, if I need to lose a couple pounds, it just kind of works effortlessly, right? Because my metabolism is so free and clear. All I got to do is start exercising a little bit more consistently and cut back on my beers, and then literally my metabolism will work its way out. Is lemon beneficial for you?
Yes.
Highly beneficial, do you know, or neutral? Doesn't matter. It's not an avoid. So we tend to really know what our avoids are. So I eat as many highly beneficial foods as I can for my blood type. But and that really makes a huge difference for me. Major. Yeah. Okay. Any other final questions?
Last one here on Instagram. Ash08807. I want to know how to lose belly fat quickly.
Oh boy.
That's a hard one.
Let's take an hour on that one. So, how to lose belly fat quickly. I'm going to give you a quick couple things. Quit drinking alcohol. Eat according to macros. Get about 40 to 50% carbohydrates. Do moderate intensity cardio 3 to 4 days a week. Get your strength training on 3 to 4 days a week. And do that over and over and over and over and over and over and over. It might not happen quickly, but it will happen.
Pretty Posh Planning said, "Hi Holly, what's your opinion on about keto?" We will be posting this live again, and it'll also be on Holly Perkins.
What's her name? Pretty Posh?
Pretty Posh Planning.
Okay, Pretty Posh Planning. She must have just hopped in.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about keto half an hour ago. In a couple minutes, look up on your top bar. This live episode is going to be up on your stories for 24 hours. Go back and rewatch it.
Or go on to Holly Perkins Fitness on Facebook,
Yeah.
and it'll be there for.
I mean, we talked for probably half an hour about ketogenic eating, and I shared all my thoughts on it.
And there's also an episode specifically on keto, so if you want to look
That's
at
right. So if you go to my Holly Perkins Fitness on Facebook, there's a whole Live with Holly episode on eating ketogenic diet. What did we call it? Keto. Keto.
Yeah.
My thoughts on keto?
I think so.
All about keto?
All about keto.
All about keto?
I think so. That sounds right.
I don't know, but there's a whole episode of Live with Holly about it. I hope you guys will check it out.
Alrighty, bye guys.
Bye guys. And if you are here with me on Facebook and you're watching this in playback, make sure you sign up for my free email updates. All you have to do is look up or down and then click the button that says sign up. If you sign up for my free email updates, they come out once per week and they are content heavy, and in them I share exclusive information that I do not share anyplace else. So you will get my best information, my best insights by getting my free email updates that come out every Tuesday. You have to sign up. I don't do a lot of marketing. I don't do any spamming. It really is very content heavy because I am here to serve and educate. Make sure you click the button that says sign up. And I'll see you next week.
Bye.